Hello to all my friends out there. So now, this is hard to do. Now I'm walking 2 hours a day, and this video is on survival of the fittest. Okay, the healthiest people are going to stand a better chance of surviving longer. So if you're older and you exercise every day, chances are you're giving yourself up a leg up to survival. I tell my son the most important thing I have to do in a day is walk. If I want to live, I have to keep my heart muscle strong so it can pump blood to my brain. So your healthier people are going to have a better chance of survival. And another thing is clean water. You want to make sure you're going to use the cleanest water you can get. That's going to help you survive as well. And then your stockpile. If something happens, let me check something. If something happens and you have food and water, that is going to help you. Like if there's a devastating earthquake or some kind of bomb, and you know something bad happens, a fire. If you have food and water, that's really going to help you. And basically too, your smartest people would have a leg up in theory, but if they have never given survival or evacuation a thought in their heads, that actually might be fatal. So you want to do a little research on survival, and you don't want to depend on other people to tell you what to do because they might not be invested in your survival. And then, supposedly, and I could see it, Agenda 21, which would be 1921, and it's not that far off. And I've heard they're not going to be able to achieve Agenda 21, so they're going to have to make it Agenda 30. So what they want to do is, supposedly, there's two theories on this. One, they want to get us all living like socialists, and we would just have apartments, and we'd be living like, there used to be a thing, overpopulation was bad. I don't see that talked about so much, but smash us all into large cities and give us a basic income. And so what people would be better off to survive on, say, $1,100 a month? Well, it would be a person who is already restricting their money, living cheap. But there's another theory, and I kind of lean towards this one. I really do. Okay, all those buildings and cities that are vacant in China, those big communal living places are all sitting vacant because what really happened is the builders that built them made money, and then that money was siphoned into some rich people's possessions, and all the other people were left, with nothing. It was a false narrative. It was just to create wealth for people, for builders, for people producing the stuff to make the places, and then they just left them standing, and that's very devastating for the economy. So there's a false narrative going on, and that may be all there is to Agenda 21 too, but it could be very devastating for the economy. Okay, inflation. If inflation strikes and your dollar buys less, and you're prepared to live on more, less, you're gonna fare better. You're gonna save money. That's gonna help you if you evacuated. I was watching the channel Jen in New York City Saves Money, and she had Save $1 a Day challenge. And I thought, you know, it's a pretty good idea in case I ever have to evacuate. And another thing is, if something happens and you have to evacuate, if you are the first person to first few people to evacuate, it's going to be way easier on you. And at a time like that, just drive 100 miles an hour out of town if you have a car that can do that. Like my little Corolla, if I drove that thing 100 miles an hour, I would kill myself. But I could drive 70, 75 miles an hour in some instances. Food, water, gas, cash, and plans. You know, a lot of people do these plans, you know, various plans, you know, of surviving, you know, disasters. But I think your best plans would be migrate to a safer area. Hopefully in a car if you don't. But if you can get on a bus or a train, anything. I mean, think about the Nazis in Germany. What if the Jews had left? You know, at the first, some of them I'm sure did. But it's not, a lot of people don't have enough money to evacuate, but if they knew it was life and death, there might have been a way. So what you want to be doing is you want to be thinking all the time, my very survival could, you know, depend on my ability to secure food and resources. Now, my family has the history. They were lynching the Mormons, and mostly it was to secure their dairy farms, to murder them and steal their resources. Also, I see a lot of this might be at the root of this problem with the farmers. It might be nothing more than a diabolical plot to steal their land. And so, you know, we have to be aware that like this wealth snatching could be going on in our own country. I wouldn't doubt it. So you have to protect all of your assets and wealth as best you can. But if it's moving in the direction where they're going to take it, unload it before they take it free, you know? I'm out here now, I see we have a lot of people trying to sell their houses, their condos. One, maybe they can't afford it, but two, maybe they know that the property value is going to drop again. So, you know, you have to always be alert for that. And also on this, you know, people are advising buy apartment buildings, you know, with your money. Well, this goes back to who's really benefiting on that too. Who's getting the taxes? So, you know, if the government is taking over, and I think it is, then, you know, if you're aware of that, you can protect yourself as well. Also, a lot of small businesses are going out of business. One of the reasons I don't do hair is because I don't like working for free. So if I gotta pay 50% plus just to stand on my feet and do the hair, and then I gotta pay for the products, I gotta pay taxes, it goes on and on and on. You can do it if you want to kill yourself. And so, and it's the same thing, the cost of doing business on eBay, they raise it by 5%. Now you pay 5% to PayPal, which if you think of all the money on eBay, that is a hell of a lot of money, that really is. And another thing is, a lot of these non-profit organizations have been bought out, you know. That includes churches, that includes thrift stores, all kinds of things. So you gotta watch out for that too. You don't wanna trust this kind of stuff 100%. eBay, I had 2 slow months on eBay. And so what I don't want to do is invest a whole bunch of money in eBay. I heard that one lady, she had thousands of items and they dropped everything on her. So that kind of stuff could happen. You know, they could make the venue more attractive for the nonprofit and less attractive for people. Basically, you know, keeping us all kind of poor, you know. So, you know, you want to think about, are you healthy? Are you prepared? Do you even perceive any danger? Are you the kind of person who thinks everything is gonna be okay when all the evidence points to a recession? Are you gonna say, well, I don't wanna think about a recession. I've always been okay, I'll always be okay. Okay, like I went to buy donuts, you know, before I went to the 99-cent store, and the kiosk, there's like 3 donuts, and they were all stale and dry. And then I thought, well, I'll buy a package, and they were all expired. So, and I mean, I see things I don't like. And so, you know, as consumers, you know, we're putting up with this stuff. But what it really does signal us, there's another thing in businesses. If you don't pay your bills, you're not going to get any donuts. You're not going to get any paper. You're not going to get any of this, and you're not going to get any of that. So that goes back to the high cost of doing business. So, you know, if items are missing on the shelves, don't go, oh, well, that's no big deal. Say to yourself, okay, I need gold medal premium flour, and there isn't any here. Well, what if there wasn't any anywhere? So you want to prepare food. I posted a video on my Twitter, and it was a prophecy. This lady said she got a prophecy from God. You can go to my Twitter and find it. It's called Rhoda Stone Twitter. And in the prophecy, at first, there was less food on the shelves. At first, there was less of a selection. Then there was items missing. Then there was no food on the shelves. Then they restricted the amount of food that you could buy, only as much as you could carry in your arms. And it was really a good prophecy. And it is something to be considered. Okay, now these economies like in China, in Hong Kong, that are built on a false economy. There's the one economy that looks good. There's the other economy that is just siphoning all the wealth into the rich people's hands. Also, I am not a big fan of investing in things that aren't real. If I was going to invest some money, I have been buying a little stock, Uber, but if I was going to invest a little money, I would invest money in silver and gold, a little bit at a time. And so you might be saying, well, I can't afford that. Well, what you can do is go through your coins. When you get your coins, Go through your coins and look and see if you have any coins before 1964 and stockpile those. Most likely those have some silver in them. And be researching silver and gold a little bit. That would be a real smart thing to do. So, research evacuation and research like every kind of possible thing that might happen. Like out here, we have had a funnel cloud storm before, so you can't say it would never happen here. But mostly we have to be ready for earthquakes. It wasn't an earthquake what devastated Venezuela. And in that area, the only real solution is you got to get out of there. Oh, and we have free entertainment today, which is really nice, and you can hear it all over the mall. Food, water, gas. Another thing that would be helpful is a bike or a motorcycle, you know, just in case. I said to my son the other day, we still have the bikes, don't we? Yeah, we do, but we don't have any motorcycles or mopeds. I might consider those. Food, water, gas, and cash to start. And don't be saying, well, I'm a little old lady in an apartment. In that case, you got to figure out how, if something happens, you're going to survive. So, okay, you guys, stay with me, and don't discount these conspiracy theorists. You know, take a look at the videos. Okay, you guys, God bless you all.